La 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 la. La 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 la. La la la. Behind the scene, my tears fall down. So many things have happened. The years go by and the friendship happens no more. Jealousy and envy. Wow, because you keep on grinding. People wanna see you fail, and although you fall, just move on. Crabs in a barrel. Want what you have, try to pull you down. Don't wanna work, just wanna take. They also hate on me. The more you hate, I'll be lifted. Hate on me. The more you hate, I'll be lifted.
Check, check.
La 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 la. La 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 la.
La, la. Yo, let me tell you something. I don't care what nobody say. This will be my theme song for the rest of my life. I'm sorry. I dig the hell out of that theme song. You know what I mean? First off, I want to say how y'all doing tonight. I am sitting here with my guest for this evening, Major. Say what's up to the people, Major. I can't hear you. I cannot. Say something.
Hello. Check.
Yeah, I can hear him.
Oh, you can hear me?
I can't hear you as loud as I can hear me. Yeah, just switch the headphones. See. Technical difficulty. Hold on 1 second. I don't know why I'm always looking at the TV like technical difficulty.
Okay.
Well, yeah. No. I don't know. I
Hello,
think
everyone. How y'all doing tonight?
you know what? Why don't you just switch seats then? Yeah, because I want to make sure you're heard when you're being heard, you know? I'll move over some. I know they probably like this. They moving furniture. Check.
Let me see.
Yeah, there you go. I can hear you on there.
You hear me on there?
I can hear you on there. Say something again.
Check. Oh, I hear me too.
Yeah,
I
there
hear
you
myself.
go. I hear you good.
Man, that's Chris. And I feel like I'm in the yeah.
So before we get started, bro, tell them like the different places you're gonna be, what you got going on in life. You know what I mean? Let's hear about it. Let's talk about it.
Yes. Actually, man, my name is Major. Yes, from here at Chester, Pennsylvania. And since I've been in comedy, the acronyms to the name stands for Making a Joke Out of Reality. And you can find me, or you can Instagram me at Major LLC, or you can find me on Facebook at Downtown Jabuki Brown, all one word, _Major.
There we go.
Yes, and I'm actually working on still, got a couple of shows coming up. 22nd, we have open mics. Don't forget open mics on the 22nd. Yes, indeed. Yes, open mics. We will have my man Slick Talk. Yes, indeed. He'll be hosting that event. And also I have an event down in Baltimore that we're doing also down there with Legal D. Shout out to Baltimore. And Justo and a couple other comedians down there. I'm just want to, my man, CJ. Yes, CJ Burney. Yes, we have a couple ladies as well. And also just networking. Got another event coming up as well. That's in September. This is going to be a grown and sexy event. It's like speed dating. But before that, I did also want to let everybody know about the Smoking and Joking. They have a Smoking and Joking event coming up right here, right now. You see right here with Lamont Harris, Jamil B will be hosting, and Chase Lamar. I am be part of that event as well. I'll be over there to bless the microphone and help the people laugh as well.
Where's that going to be at?
Come on through. That is going to be in Seacane, Pennsylvania. Yes, 925 Providence Road, store number 15. Seacane, Pennsylvania. It says store number 15. So that means as a business, that means if you ain't about your business of laughter, come on in. That's what we doing.
Tell them where they can find you on Facebook and Instagram, and if you have any other handles.
Yes, Facebook. Yes, you can find me at Downtown Jabuki Brown, all one word, _Major. And you can find me on Instagram at Major LLC. All other platforms I'm working on as we speak, and just working, building, just trying to get better at this game, man.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Yes, sir.
So we was doing a little experiment earlier, I guess. I don't really want to say an experiment, but we were looking for the richest people in the world. And we went to Forbes because Forbes is the best place to find your information when you're talking about money. And we're at number 708, $4.4 billion. A gentleman by the name of Zhang Weiping and family, and Wei Ping and family. The sad part is we done went through 700 people, and it's not one black person on here yet. I mean, there's people from all walks of life, from Chinese to Middle Eastern to Carlos Rodriguez is a pastor, $4.3 billion. Like, and I don't even know if pastors should be that rich. I just want to put that out there. A pastor having billions of dollars, is that even right in the world? But I know they say that Jay-Z is supposed to be worth $1 billion. And so what I'm trying to do is get down to $1 billion. But I'm telling you, it's a hard job trying to find all these poor billionaires. We need to start a fundraiser for them. It's so hard to be on a list.
Billionaires.
Because when you're the 750th billionaire and you only have $4.1 billion, you get into the bottom of the list.
That's
bro.
it. That's
yeah,
it.
They're gonna need us to send them some money to help get their numbers up.
That's
so,
true.
I'm just like, wow. But I mean, it really blew my mind looking at this. So this episode is called When We Were Kings. We probably gonna do this for like an hour. I'm not feeling too great. I'm really hot. I don't know why.
Yeah,
I'm
what's
so
going
damn
on with
hot.
you, man?
I don't know, it's the damn lights or something.
Is that
man.
what it is?
Yeah.
All right, man. I'm cool over here, man. It feel good. It's real comfortable up in here. I don't know for now. I don't know.
You comfortable? I'm sweating.
Yeah,
But the conversation that I wanted to get to was I constantly have conversations with people, just trying to get the masses to understand that our history does not start with slavery. And I really need people to understand. I mean, American culture, American universities and institutions, American school districts and systems will teach us about slavery and all, but it's not where our story begins. And even looking at all of these billionaires that they have on this list, and I'm at number 700. Number 700, and I'm going to have to scroll back to the top of the page again. Of course, I'm just looking to see if I can see Jay-Z on here, actually, but because I need to see a black face on this list somewhere. But this is the amazing thing. The amazing thing is, even with all of these billionaires, the richest billionaire today is not as rich as the richest billionaire from back in the day, and almost considered the richest man in the world, and his name is Mansa Musa.
Mansa Musa.
Yeah, he was the king of Mali in Africa, and this was during like 1325 or something, way back in the day. This is when Europe was going through famine and disease, and Europe wasn't doing too great, where they just really wasn't doing too great, and quite honestly, they were kind of bought out of their situations because of like Africans and Moors and this is all a history that we don't learn. Gracious enough to give and to teach. Mansa Musa also built a university, actually, and scholars from all around came to study in his kingdom. They said he took a pilgrimage to Mecca because he was Muslim. And he took a pilgrimage to Mecca, and they said that this man's caravan stretched as far as the eye could see. That he had hundreds of like servants and all wearing.
He had slaves. He had.
Yeah. Well, servants. They
Oh,
were
yeah, yeah.
servants.
Okay.
You know, I don't want to get it messed up because servants and slaves are two different horses and two different stables.
And that sounds crazy too, as a black man having slaves. You know?
Well, believe it or not, like slavery is one of those things that, you know, nobody was kind of like immune to. It was pretty much like a way of life for most of the world. And a lot of times when people conquered like other like villages, other kingdoms, you know, they took on a lot of those people as servants, as slaves, or and things of that nature. And I know I said servants and slaves in the same breath, but once again, it's two different things. A slave, you know, he's not going to get paid for the job he does. A common misconception is that slaves built the pyramids, but what people don't understand is building those pyramids and all, it was skilled labor. Very skilled labor, architectural,
Definitely.
And back in the day when the pyramids and stuff was built, they paid a lot of those folks beer and wheat, I believe, wheat, and like honey, I believe. You know what I mean? And that was as good as money, I guess, back in the day. Me personally, I say send that to my bank account, especially if I'm out there doing that type of work. But yeah,
I agree.
putting it out there.
Yeah.
I just need for people to understand that our history doesn't start with slavery. Our greatest moments in life, you know, wasn't coming out of slavery. You got what I'm saying? But because we don't control the educational system, they put up things that they feel is important to American culture. So it's pretty much like, okay, this is what's happening over here. But the sad part is we don't just learn about what happened over here in school. I mean, we hear about what happened in Europe. We hear about things that happened in Japan. We hear about a lot of different things. So I think that we should also, our children should also be entitled to an education that tells them, you know, the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. You got what I'm saying?
Definitely.
I'm still scrolling trying to find
Nah, it's all
a
good.
black person on this list, and that's the only thing that's throwing me off. But
Now, you're probably not going to find it, Mike. You know, I understand. You keep trying, man, but you done went that 10 different pages, and you still haven't. What on you right now? Are you what billion?
I came all the way out. But the richest person was Jeff Bezos, who owns Amazon at $210.3 billion.
And he still wasn't as rich
And he
as
still wasn't as rich as Mansa Musa.
Mansa Musa.
$210 billion. But I'm saying this all to say the richest man who ever lived was a black man. They said that when he took his pilgrimage to Mecca, that along the way, him going through different towns, it took him a year to get from Mali to Mecca, and that he was literally giving money to the poor, buying souvenirs. He was literally doing like a whole lot over this journey, like financially to the people. And he spent so much money that he caused inflation to rise. You got what I'm saying?
Wow.
That's some crazy shit. He caused inflation to rise. You know, so he caused for supply and demand. You know, he caused the need, the demand for more supplies just by him rolling through, taking that year. He built mosques and stuff along the way. And then when he got back, he had built a university, as I was saying. You know what I mean? So that it's important for us to see stuff like that. The sad part is to know somebody that rich, an African that rich, that's richer than anyone who ever lived, actually existed, and most of us will never even know that. We'll never even know that. They don't even really speak upon when Europe was in famine, when Europe was in disease. They typically don't speak about how the Moors came through and, you know, taught them how to plant and stuff, taught them how to not let their livestock in the house. They was living nasty. You got what I'm saying? So it's just crazy. It's real
it is
crazy. And every time I think about it, you know, it makes me it makes me wonder, and it makes me become more solidified in the fact that we should be teaching our children. We should really be taking advantage of giving our children the best education they could possibly have.
Always.
You got what I'm saying? Like, if you had the opportunity to teach your son, you think you could take the time out to teach your son every day?
I would have to. That's what it takes. That's what it takes. My main thing also teaching my child, and I think everybody should also be doing the same thing, is teaching financial literacy, man.
Yeah.
You know, being to know that your money can work for you and continuously grow, and also, you know, for your family as well, and leave a legacy if it's definitely invested in the right way.
Yeah.
So, you know, and that's some things that we weren't taught, man. We didn't know, you know, and a lot of it is sad is that, you know, we don't come from having money. So if you do get money, let's say a person get $1 million, don't you know it's better probably for them to have $100 or get that in installments so that they could probably still survive and be able to, you know, maintain, because it's like a wreck. You know, it's like giving a alcoholic a drink, you know, and it's pretty much gonna, you know.
Yeah, well, the sad part about everything is that, you know, much like you know, I was never taught to save anything. Like,
That's right.
My financial lessons in life was, if I got $5, don't let that money burn your pocket.
Right.
Like, we spoke in like euphemisms and things of that nature. You know, don't put your money on the counter. You know,
Right.
Like,
Right.
these are the things that we understood. You know, well, I can honestly say I've even heard of, you know, well, save some money for a rainy day. You know what I mean? But no structure put to it. Like, nobody ever told me how to save. Nobody ever told me how to spend. So when I got my first job, I was spending my money on stupid stuff that I consider it stupid anyway. I was spending my money on sunglasses and watches. I used to like ties and shoes and stuff. I would buy like all of this stuff every time I got paid, and my money would literally be gone within the first couple days of getting paid, and I didn't save anything for anything.
Every day was a rainy day.
Yeah.
In my eyes, you know, that's how we looked at it, you know, and what's funny is, you know, even when I say in my comedy, you know, I come from Bobos and clothes with no logos.
Yeah.
You know, I'm speaking the truth for that, of course, you know, but at the same time, man, you know, it was like, man, what would we do and let to do to get that pair of name brand this or name brand that, you know, but hey, man, you know, I think a lot of us come from that. We learn to survive, you know, and try to make a better way and
well, we learned to
manage the buck, because you know what they say, well, I don't know what they say, but it has been said that if you can't afford to buy it 2 or 3 times, then you shouldn't buy it.
You shouldn't buy it.
You know, and if we're living under that umbrella, then guess what? We shouldn't have anything.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know,
No doubt.
and that's just, you know.
Well, the odd part about everything is living in America, a lot of situations was set up to keep, you know, us standing still and keep us standing in place. And I don't even want to complain about that no more, because after a while, it seems exactly like that, a complaint. It seems like, you know, complacent complaining.
Right.
It seems like you're mad that it happened, and you just want to keep talking about the fact that it happened. But what do we do to take ourselves out of those spaces? You know, a lot of times I want to have conversations with people, but you know something, it gets to a point sometimes that I think you can't wake people up that want to stay asleep. It's like, you ever try and wake somebody up in the morning, they like, get out of here. Like, leave me alone, man. Oh, let me sleep 5 more minutes. I think sometimes things become so uncomfortable that if you find the truth or you hear the truth, I think your brain will try to protect you from reality.
Wow.
I do.
Shut you right out from it.
Shut you right out. You ever hear about how somebody can be in a horrible accident, or let's say somebody was taken hostage and horrible things was done to them, and then, you know, they just blank it out of their mind because it was so horrible for them that their mind couldn't process it. And what if this is happening on a mass level? What if it's happening on a mass level where yes, all of these things happen and it was so bad and we can talk about it. We can be angry about it, but we won't move to do something about it. Even
Exactly.
creating change in our own communities.
That's it.
Like how many people show up to school meetings, school board meetings, and
Right.
and anything, any form of government that goes on in our communities. You get a handful of people, but it's not enough because we've been put into a position where we believe we don't matter. And because we believe we don't matter,
We don't do
show
nothing
up.
about it. We don't do nothing about
Yeah,
it.
it's something like, you know how a lot of people work their bills like this. So let's say you owe 5 bills, right? And the cable, the rent, the water, the electric, cable bill, water, rent, and electric. Okay. Cable, water, electric, rent, and cell phone. Boom, there go 5. Now, what'll typically happen is you might have enough money to pay for 4 of them and maybe not 1. Let's say you decide, I'm not going to pay the cable bill. So you don't pay it this month. Let's say you don't pay it next month. But the problem is most people won't even make a phone call. Most people won't call them and say, hey, can I give you like $10? Can I give you like $20? Most people won't even put $10, $20 on it without even having the phone call. You know what I mean? What most people are going to do is say nothing.
Nothing at all.
And then once it gets to a certain point, they'll say, fuck it. I'm not going to pay that. It's too high. I owe too much.
But you accumulated it. And
Yeah.
that's the problem. See, that's what the people have to understand, the responsibility of ownership.
Yeah,
Owning
but
up to
it
what
be-
you accumulate. You know, this is something you made. This is something you have to pay. You know, everyone has a bill.
Yeah.
But when people complain about it so much, and I hear, you know, and even
But
just-
I think it's a way of blocking it out as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
Like blocking it from your mind. Like even blocking the fact that you haven't made those calls or anything. And then just to the point that you justify it so that it makes sense and you can just walk away.
and think it's okay.
Yeah, I think most people do that shit in relationships. Like you fuck up so much and then it get to a certain point and then even the arguments are funny. Like you could be the one that fucked up, yet you're the one pointing the finger.
Right.
Like how does that happen?
You
could
justifying
know
your
you fucked
feelings.
up.
You trying to make yourself feel good.
Exactly.
And that's not right.
Exactly. But
I
it's
get it.
something that we do, and I feel like we've been painted into this whole space where that becomes the new norm and it becomes okay. We don't get taught a lot of things. We don't get taught how to deal with our feelings.
And just because you don't get taught that, okay, like you said, move forward. What are we gonna do about it? What are you doing about it?
Yeah.
Like I know financially, I'm much more better financially now than I've been before.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the thing, improving, getting better. You know,
But you know what I found too? Let me tell you something. There was times where I didn't have $2 in my pocket. There was times where if I wanted a freaking bottle of water, I couldn't afford it. You know what I mean? There was times in my life where that happened at. But there was times in my life where I had overabundance. And the crazy part about everything is when you have overabundance, you start to realize something. Like, you don't need anything. Therefore, you don't spend as much. You start finding out, like in the beginning, it's kind of like you spend, and it's almost like we feel somebody going to take it away. It's like if you get, like for all those people that got thousands and thousands of dollars with the PUA and all of that jazz, as soon as that money got on their card, they probably snatched it right off. Because it's like, well, I don't want nobody to take it. I don't want them to take it back. I'll deal with the consequences on the back end. Whatever the case may be, we want to keep it. We get afraid very quickly. It's almost like you're doing something wrong when they said, here, this is yours.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So why do you feel internally almost like you did something wrong? It's kind of like when the cops get behind you. They could just be going to the store, you know, or going to somewhere else that has nothing to do with you, but as soon as they get behind you, like we're like, oh shit.
Don't turn around. They're
Yeah,
behind
don't
us.
turn around. Don't do this. Turn the radio down. You know, we start
Turn
going
the
over
radio
this
down.
checklist. Yeah, but once again, it's because we've been taught to feel that way, and the reality of it is we don't get good treatment here. We literally don't get good treatment here. And I'm not saying by like everybody, but what I am saying is that a lot of people, a lot of African Americans in this country experience a lot of less than ideal situations. You know, I've even had situations where I felt a little bit humiliated, but in the same token, I didn't want to fan any flames. You got what I'm saying? It's like our situations are so complex that it's really no way of like getting around it. I thought about this over and over again. I thought to myself, stuff is so fucked up. Where do we start at to fix it? And people could say, oh, well, you start with you. And that shit sound deep, right? But that's just like...
Where do you start with you, though?
Yeah, that's just like your mom
Where
saying,
with you do
well,
you start?
save for a rainy day. That's like your mom saying or your dad saying, don't let that money burn your pocket. That's not a fucking plan.
It's not a plan.
It's not a plan. So if it starts with you, okay, now what? Oh, I'm a problem? But how can you see the problems with you when you don't feel like you're doing anything wrong? And even if you felt like you could do something better, what would that really be? Or is the truth so concerning that we block it out? That we don't want to see how fucked up we are, so we just block it out and we deal like we've been taught to do every day. It's weird, man.
It is. It is.
It's weird. I'm still, I'm just like, I'm still trying to figure out a way to get around all of this. I'm trying to figure out, how do we even start to dig our way out? And I thought to myself over time, like, there's things I do for myself. Like, I try to meditate. I try to educate. You know what I mean? That is two things that if nothing else, I do that. I try to have this like self-realization. I'm checking how I feel and I'm looking at reality. So if this is reality, if something happens to me, is this reality or is it how I feel? When I go to make a move on it, is this based in reality or is this based in how I feel about reality? You got what I mean? You know what I mean? You got to kind of figure that out sometimes. You know what I mean? So am I making a logical decision or an irrational decision based off of my feelings? You got what I'm saying? And like I said, nobody teaches us anything. So these are the things that we most often have to ask ourselves. These are little questions you can ask yourself to figure out a couple things. You got what I'm saying? And how do we open our minds? You know, how do we open up our minds to the fact that these things are happening? We have to stop looking at the fact that it's not forgetting anything, but we can't become so enveloped in the past that we fail to see what our futures can be.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
You know,
And that's why a lot of us are held back. That's why a lot of us are held back and can't go forward in life with a lot of things because we've just been just that thinking, that mindset, you know.
Yeah.
And you definitely, like you said, even with yourself, you question, wondering what do you have to do? What can you do?
Where do I go with this?
Where do you go with this? And then it's hard when you don't know. No one can tell you. There's no way. There's no blueprint to tell you this is what you should start with first.
Yeah, exactly.
My thing, I look at myself is, and it's crazy, man. And I just look at what I do and how I do things. And when I look at things that I do, sometimes I be like, man, you just fucked up. Mm-hmm. You just doing some shit that damn well
you shouldn't be
better you shouldn't be doing, And it's like, I can honestly say that, so therefore, one thing I know for sure I won't do is look at another person and judge them for what they may do, because, everybody have different, footsteps in life that we all walk upon, but, it's just my thing I would say, though, to you is don't beat yourself up, man. Don't beat you. You know what I mean? Because we can be hard on ourselves a lot and not realize that us being so hard, man, it's just, it'll take away and pull from the energy of us moving forward, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And
It
we-
can keep us standing.
man,
in place.
you know, it's like one of those, you know, when I man, I get here and I get complacent with just, you know, not doing nothing. You know, my thing is, man, procrastination. Stop it. Move forward. What did you do today that improve tomorrow? You know, or that, you know, probably came from yesterday that you should have did, but did you double up on your duty to do cover that? You know, so it's a lot of, you know, fights within yourself, man, that you have to deal with, that you have to try to strive to get better at, you know. But
Well, the funny part about everything is, so whenever you write a story, whenever you read a story, there's only 3 struggles you'll ever see in any story. It's either man against nature, man against man, or man against himself. Think of every single story you ever heard, every movie you ever watched, and it's literally what it comes down to. And when I say man against man, we'll toss the aliens like Independence Day and all that jazz in there. We'll throw all the superhero flicks in there. You know, it's man against man. It's you versus another person. Or it's you versus yourself, and anything else is you versus nature. You got what I'm saying? Right. And within all of that, the reason why stories are built like that is because life is built like that. It's art imitating life. So a lot of times you have to ask yourself, even to understand what's going on around you, am I beating myself up, man against man?
right,
Man against man. Am I beating myself up about this? Am I keeping myself in place? You know, man against himself.
yes,
Man against man would be, is this my brother or my sister doing this to me? Or something external? Is this the police? Is this the government? Is this white folks, racist white folks anyway? Is this, that, and the third? You know what I mean? And then other than that, we pretty much don't worry about floods and extreme heat and earthquakes and stuff like that. You only look at that shit when it's happening.
right.
You know what I mean? But our daily struggles really consist of us against ourselves or us against somebody else. You know what I mean? And once we understand what our struggle is, we can start breaking it down and really figuring out ways of coping with it and dealing with it. You know what I mean? Because you can't just think about it and say, okay, well, I'm just going to avoid it. I'm going to go around it or whatever. No, you have to have some type of strategy in place to deal with what's in front of you. You got what I'm saying? I mean, let's be real. The reality is nobody going to give you nothing. Shit, let me tell you, the most we've ever gotten was during COVID. The most you've ever gotten was during COVID. That somebody was just giving you was during COVID. And some people got so well, they wound up getting more money than they would have got if they were working. You got what I'm saying? But that just goes to show you, because it was people with money that don't really understand, you know, that they gave us too much. If they gave everybody exactly what they was making at work, nobody would have batted an eye. Because you'd have been like, oh, I got my check. Matter of fact, they could have made that shit light 150, 200, and people would have still went for it, because guess what? At the end of the day, it was free money. That's what we think.
That's the problem, man. See, I'm saying, see that word free, man.
Free money.
I said this. I don't know if you heard me say this before in the set, but free, man. The word free is, I don't know anything that's free. The only thing I ever seen free, and I'm gonna be honest, man, is a free ass whooping.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't see, you know.
No. You earn ass whoopings. I used to tell my kids, if I whooped my kids' ass, you can ask any one of them. I say, I'm going to give you what you earned, you know?
Yeah. I guess, well, you know, I guess you can say that. But, you earned it, but they didn't have to really, you know, pay literally, you know? Like, it was just one of those situations.
Yeah, they paid you in punches.
You know, it was like, you know, but it's just one of those situations, man. You know, when you hear someone to give you free, a lot of times we know the word free means what? It doesn't exist, or it's too good to be true.
Yeah, it's too good to be
It's
true.
too good to be true, but yet you got a free vaccine.
Yeah.
You know, and
Bro, let me tell you, I don't give a fuck what nobody say. I am literally never taking that vaccine. And it's not to say that COVID isn't real. Shit, I believe in COVID.
Yeah, but
I
so
literally believe it's real.
so when did they tell you like okay, you're a man, Vietnam veteran, retired, right? So at this point, let's say to get your pension or to draw your pension, let's say if they tell you you have to take this vaccine in order to get your pension, then what shall you do?
Well, see, that would never happen. See,
He
okay,
said that
number
would
one-
never happen.
Number one,
Knock on wood,
I'm a
we in the
veteran
world
of
of
the
possibility.
Afghanistan war, and I'll tell you this: if for whatever reason, if for whatever reason they said in order for you to get this, you would have to do that, I don't think the people would go for it. See, you have to realize I was a part of an organization, so that organization, although it has many colors in it, the American people is made up of 70 some odd percent white folks, 13% black people. The military is probably, the percentage on that is probably a little less black people and more white people. So if you saying that that's what I got to get, I'm not the only veteran that's disabled. It's a lot of white folks that's disabled. A lot of my friends that got hurt overseas and stuff is like disabled. You think they gonna go for that?
Are they and they're against the vaccine as well? These same people?
I have, you know what? I think it's a mixed bag with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Some people are against it. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go so far as to say this. So when everything was going down, a lot of my friends were Trumpers. A lot of people I know from the military were Trumpers. And what I do know is a lot of people was putting out, oh, this is bullshit. They were saying how the vaccine and stuff was bullshit. They were saying how even the disease itself was bullshit. And a lot of people, they really literally was not going for it. They wasn't going for it. So for me personally, I think that it would never had it wouldn't go down like that. It wouldn't go down like that. I bet you half the people that I know, I'm gonna say 3/4 of the people I know that was in the military probably ain't gonna take them damn shots. I'll say that much. Let me read a couple comments real quick.
All right, yeah. What we got going on in the
Thank you
comments?
for the stars, Christy Barnes.
Christy Barnes, thank you. Yes, God, star. I feel like a star already.
Christina
man.
said we have to step outside of what we have been comfortable with and do something different and fast. The fate of who we are depends on the choices we make every day. Some damage already exists, but that doesn't mean it's not fixable. We need to do and not keep saying. Step outside of the box and think beyond now. Embrace the depth of who we really are and manifest the hell out of that shit. We can't erase the past, but we damn sure can create our future. Who's willing to go against the grain? Sacrifice for sacrifice equals unity. My brother's keeper. Dante said, and that ass, oh, you meant whoop, and that ass whooping is going to cost you. Yes, it will. That ass whooping will definitely cost you. Maybe some jail time. You punch on the right person.
Yeah.
But you know, we literally have to start realizing that at some point we have to understand that we need a starting point. And you can't look at everything. You cannot look at everything that's going on within our culture. Fuck the world, but within our culture, and think that we can come up with this great strategic plan of getting it all done. You know what I mean? It's going to take it took generations to get here. So why wouldn't you think it's going to take generations to fix it? You got what I'm saying?
Yes, definitely.
Stop running around and telling people like, oh, change starts with you. Because that's not giving anybody a leg up. It's not giving anybody a blueprint on how to do this. I mean, for real, imagine how much trauma, honestly, that we deal with as black people every day. When we spoke earlier about the cops getting behind you, and now I'm not out there committing no crimes, but guess what? The cops get behind me, I get a little fidgety my damn self. So, you know, that right there is anxiety. That right there is a form of PTSD. You know what I mean? It's literally like you're reacting to something that's not even happening to you. You got what I'm saying? And when I say not even happening to you, that cop ain't pulling you out the car and sticking a bullet in your back. And you don't get pulled over every time you see a cop. You don't. But the way things go and the way we are conditioned to think is that that is going to happen. Let me tell you something. I got fucking blown up. Boom. Blown up. Bomb. Boom. Blown the fuck up. And when I first came home, let me tell you how, man, if I was going under an underpass, my body would react off of that shit. I know ain't nobody out there planting no bombs out there.
Right. They better
but
not
my
cut the lights
body
out.
would automatically react to it. When I start coming up to a freaking red light or some shit like that, I'm slow rolling. If there's cars in front of me and cars in back of me, I'm going to leave enough space between me and the car in front of me in case I got to get the fuck out of there. See, that's living with PTSD. Now ask yourself how you live your life. When you walk out your door, you looking both ways? If you see a car on your block you ain't used to, are you staring at it like, who the fuck is that? I mean, ask yourself how you're living your daily fucking life. And I promise you, you're touched, literally touched by PTSD, by anxiety. There's places that people won't even go. Oh, well, I ain't gonna go in there. Them young people be in there. You're already thinking something is gonna happen to you. And then the moment somebody is talking too loud or have a disagreement, your body is already saying like, oh shit, I gotta get out of here. Your heart's beating a little faster. You stopped. You like that deer at the stream that heard somebody step on a fucking twig. That crack, that deer be out there drinking the air. Snap.
Something
You
not
watching.
right. Something not
You
right.
go out somewhere, you hear somebody say, motherfucker. You like, you at that stream. All of a sudden, you that deer. You transforming. That animal instinct is kicking in. Do I run? Like, you got to realize those animals in the wild, they live in fear.
That's the real hood.
Yeah, they live
That's
in
the
fear.
real hood, man. I'm telling you, man. I'm
They gotta be careful. Did you ever see the fucking crocodiles and shit that wait in the water
Oh, yeah.
for like the elk and shit to come and drink? They come out to that water, they're like, hold up. They looking around and they're like, real quick.
real
They're
fast.
like,
They gotta sip quick. Sip
get
quick,
out of here.
motherfucker. You make it sip it.
But
Sip it
that's-
down.
But this is what I'm saying though. It's the same thing. It's an analogy, but it's really the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
We live our lives in a state of heightened vigilance.
Actually, that's worse.
Yeah.
Actually, that's worse.
Oh, you what? Being an animal?
Yeah, what?
Yeah, damn real.
Think about it.
Damn real.
Ain't no, there's
Ain't
no,
no help
there's
coming.
no bear or lion police coming up talking about, yo, hold on, you ready to tear up that damn, a damn chihuahua or some shit come out, you ain't
Yeah.
going. Listen, I'm just saying, man, like,
Yeah, family don't feel like they got no justice.
listen,
And I don't know. I've heard it said that animals sometimes do revenge killing, but not really. You know what I mean? It's like, damn,
I mean,
what just
but-
happened? Move along. You got the weakest one. Let's go. Thanks for being bait. We out,
yeah.
But all I'm saying
that's
at the end
deep.
of the day is
Depending on what pack you in, that probably is true.
Yeah, depending on the pack you in.
Yeah.
I definitely say that.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm saying, all in all, we got to look at things as a whole, man. We have to look at how so many things is affecting our lives. We need to realize, first off, I tried to share Mansa Musa with you just to let you all know that, we not trash. We didn't come from trash. You know what I mean? Just to let y'all know that we had greatness. I even, let's say, it might not be the best way to handle situations, but I even pointed out at the time that Europe was living in famine and disease, and the richest person that ever lived literally was black. So understand your greatness. Understand that in our lifetime, not in our lifetime, but in our bloodline, there are kings, like literal kings. We walk around and we call each other king and queen, all day long. But to me, I think to carry that title, man, it's a lot of responsibility with that. So I can't just say, I refuse to just run around and say king and queen. I do. It's a lot of responsibility with that. What are you doing? What are you responsible for? See, because a king can rise to power and be a good king or a bad king. Bad kings don't last long. Bad kings do not cause societies to prosper. Their kingdoms don't prosper like that. You got what I'm saying? And the people that they touch, they're not happy. You got what I'm saying?
So the king is basically the ruler, but depending on how he's holding the throne,
Yeah.
that plays a big part.
Yeah,
in his
yeah, and it's
longevity,
definitely going
man.
to play a big part in how the people look at them anyway. But I'm not going to run around here just calling everybody king and king. I'll call you brother and sister all day long.
But if you see a person, if you meet a little boy, man, his name King, man, you gonna call him King.
Let me tell you
You
something.
gonna say, "Hey, little King."
I knew somebody. I knew a girl that dated a guy named Master.
Okay.
His name was Master. Bro,
I'm
never calling
I
that
just now.
dude
How
that.
you address that?
I'm never going to call that dude name.
So would you say, "Hi, M"?
Hey,
What you say? What's
Hey.
up, man? What's
What's up?
happening, brother?
let me tell you something.
know.
Let me tell you something. In most situations in life, you don't never have to call somebody name. You don't. We
Right.
choose to do it.
You choose to.
Like
yeah.
I'm sitting here, I'm talking to you.
Right.
I'm not like, hey,
Yeah.
Major.
Yeah. Exactly.
Major.
Exactly.
Major. Look, Major. Major. Let me holler at Major.
Yeah. I
You
get
know
it.
what I mean?
I get it.
If I walked up, if I did not want to call you Major, I could be like, yo, bro, come here.
Yeah.
let
Yeah.
me
Yeah.
holler
Yeah.
at
It's
you.
real
I
simple.
never
it's real
have to
easy. It's
say
simple.
your
Yeah. Yeah.
name.
Yeah. Yeah. I get it. I get it.
So
I
a
get
lot of times we make things a little bit more complicated than what they got to be.
it. Yes. Yes.
I like
yes.
to keep that shit simple.
No doubt.
Your name is Master. What's up, bro?
No
There you go. There you go.
That's good. I never met nobody named Master though. That's
Man,
that's
it's
different.
just-
You know,
It's weird.
just
it's
because you
weird.
said that, that's gonna be like 10, the next 100 kids coming in the world.
Master.
Master.
Let me tell you.
Listen,
Hey,
and I wouldn't be mad at him though.
yeah, well, it's some people who name their kids King and stuff like that. And I
Right.
mean, I'm not saying you can't name your child what you want to name them. That's your personal
No doubt.
choice.
Little Major, shout out to Little Major
Yeah.
and family,
Yeah.
baby girl.
But, you know, when you name your child, you know, you may be putting a lot of pressure on their shoulders.
How about that?
If you name your child Junior, you might be putting a lot of pressure on their shoulders, you know, without even meaning to, because they have a namesake.
The expectations are gonna be set at a level they
Yeah.
may or may can't, withstand. So
Yeah,
I
exactly.
get it. I get it.
Exactly. Well, what I do want to open up people's eyes to is, you know, if you want to teach, if you really want to raise up kings and queens, man, teach your kings and queens about financial responsibility.
Facts.
Teach them about, you know, saving.
Yes, God.
Because even if you ain't got much, you can still put something to the side. And it's something always is going to need to be paid, and something is always going to need to be fixed. It ain't no getting around that. Just the way it go. It's so many people out there waiting to do things with their lives because they're waiting for the right moment financially. Let me tell you something. Money is called currency for a reason. See, a current, it moves. It doesn't stand still. So your money moves. It never stays still. In some spots it's turbulent, and some spots it's really smooth. But it's always moving. That's why it's called currency. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, let me tell you, there's never going to be a perfect time to save. It's never going to be a perfect time to start building your empire. It's never going to be a perfect time to do exactly what you want to do. But there's always a perfect time to teach. And everything that happens to you in life is a lesson. You gain wisdom off of the things that happen. Well, you gain knowledge off of the things that happen. The wisdom comes when you apply that lesson over time. So teach your kids knowledge about their finances so over time they can gain wisdom and they can see the right way to go. Man, nothing hurt my heart more when I was freaking 30 years old. And at that point, I was in the Army. I was in the Marine Corps first. And at that point, when I was 30, I was in the Army. And nothing broke my heart more than to see some 22-year-old young white dude telling me how he owned 2 houses And I'm sitting up here like,
Wow.
I don't own shit.
You know.
At that point, I didn't own anything. It took me so many years to truly understand finances in a way where I was able to actually build something. You know, because once again, nobody taught
Nobody
me.
taught you.
But
Yeah,
I
you
can't
learned
be
off the
mad
rip.
at my mom and dad because guess what? Maybe nobody told them.
That's right.
You
It's
know?
blind leading the blind, man. You can't blame them. And you know what? That's where it goes back to what you were saying also. You know, we know what happened.
Yeah.
We know you went through this.
Yeah.
We know you was abandoned. We know you went through this. But are you right now breathing with your eyes open?
Yeah.
You have another chance, another day, another way.
Yes, indeed.
That's it, man.
And you got to take advantage of those situations. You know what I mean? But that's why, once again, I tell you, it will behoove of us. Like, let me tell y'all something. I really want to share. It's hard being. So when you want to teach your kids stuff, and you see these teachable moments and these learnable moments, sometimes we abandon those moments in lieu of comfort. You got what I'm saying? We might not teach them the lesson because it might be outside of our comfort zone. So one of my daughters is mixed, you know. So she was with her grandmom. They was, you know, her and her cousin, they go to this swimming pool. And the lifeguard tells my daughter that, the lifeguard tells my daughter's grandmother that she and the kids couldn't go swimming. And my daughter was like, well, why? And the guy was like, well, you know, we're not allowing visitors to swim here. The grandma lived there, but my daughter, of course, and her cousin didn't. So the grandma was like, yeah, but that woman, to which I guess she knew, is in there, and them kids don't live here, and they were white. You know what I mean? And I guess maybe he didn't give me, I wasn't standing there, so I don't know the whole story. But anyway, my daughter is telling me this stuff, and I'm sitting in the car like, so, okay, how do I tell my daughter it's because of your color? You got what I'm saying? And to complicate the matters more, you know, knowing that her mother and I have a volatile relationship at times, you know what I mean? Co-parenting. And so it's kind of like, how do I tell my daughter this? How do I make her feel comfortable in all of this? You know what I mean? And even as I talk to my daughter about it, my daughter never really sees the bad side of anything. She always sees the good side of everything, and I love her heart for that. I love the way she looks at the world, you know what I mean? Because she's always expecting the best, and she speaks that positivity for the best, you know. And here come my negative ass, I guess, but I broke it down to her as best I could, without totally destroying her childhood. See, I don't run around telling her that all these people are going to hate you because of your color. I don't think that that's fair.
Not at all.
Because her experience, she going to think I'm full of shit because her other side of the family, she receives love. And she has friends in those neighborhoods and stuff like that. So she'll never see what it is that I'm talking about. You got what I'm saying?
Right.
Or she'll be on the fence at very least, you know. But we try to explain the best as we can. So we have to take teachable moments and we have to say stuff to our children. Even though we may not feel the greatest about it, but we have to say stuff. And we can't just say stuff out of anger and stuff. We have to say stuff out of love so that they get a better understanding.
That's right.
Because that anger and stuff we feel can be contagious and it can be unleashed on the wrong people. You got what I'm saying?
Right. That's true.
Just because they feel in a certain kind of way. So anyway, it is very important to teach our kids about finances. It is very important to teach our kids how to save. It is very important for us to start talking to our children about investing or even starting their own businesses. And I have seen quite a few young people on their grind, trying to get it together, trying to start businesses, trying to do positive things.
Shout out to the young people out there doing it,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Getting their bread, getting their chips, getting their Bitcoin.
Yes, indeed.
You know?
It's a beautiful thing, but it's something that we have to help facilitate. It's something
Yes,
that we
yes.
have to help grow. You know what I mean? Because guess what? At the end of the day, I always told my older children, and they're all in their 20s, and I always told them, I don't care if you go to college. I don't. I literally don't. College ain't for everybody.
Not at all.
You know what I mean? I don't care if you get a job. You know what I mean? My whole thing is you gonna do something. Do something. So figure out what it is you would like to do and just start moving towards that, because you can't stand still.
Something positive.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna let you stand still.
Right.
You know, and now, you know, they're out the way. But when you start raising your younger children, you learn so much from your first experiences in having children. It becomes a situation of, well, you know what? Now I need to sit back, and what I didn't do with these, I need to do with those. And if it ain't your children, let's say it's your grandchildren. Man, take your grandchildren under your wing and teach them and show them the way in which they can be successful and grow. Don't teach them the herd mentality. I mean, everybody tells their children anymore, well, it's okay to be you. It's okay to be like who you are. Okay, so what if who they are is totally lazy and they lack the motivation to do anything? Is that really okay? Is that okay? Is that so you're respecting them as a human, a fellow human being, and you're saying go ahead and be lazy? You know, I mean, I think we all have a responsibility in this world, you know what I mean, to do what we can do for ourselves.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
And I think that that's how we should teach it to our children. You know, you have a responsibility to yourself. You do. Like I told my older kids, I said, you know something? Y'all ain't got to worry about taking care of me when I get old. I mean, the thought and idea is beautiful, thinking that your kids would reach back and take care of the parent. I told my kids, y'all ain't got to worry about that. See, because with me, I'm building my wealth now to take care of me when I get old, so that they don't have that burden. I don't want to put that responsibility on them. Now, if they stepped up, wanted to come to the plate, they wanted to be involved, I ain't got no problem with that.
Right.
But make no mistake, I'm not laying it on your shoulders.
Right. But that way, see, the thing is, man, and I'm seeing that, you know, I'm dealing with this.
Yeah.
My father, you know, it's like, you know, you help raise your kids. You raise your kids, you teach them. You know, they come through us, man, and as we learn and try to help them, you know, it comes back full circle, you know, where at some point you're going to need help. You may need help, and you want it, you know, hopefully kids be there, and I get it, man, but it's definitely, they got to want to do it.
Yeah, they got to.
Have to want to do it, man, and it's going to be work. It's going to be, you know, it's going to be exactly what you said when they were kids. You know, the funny thing is, you're like, man, kids, it's a lot of work, man. It's not no, you know, and then guess what? Come back full circle. Your parent, you know, you there for them. You know, they're not moving as fast as they want to or used to, you know, things like that. So you have to be patient with them. You have to, you know, build and try to figure out a real way to try to know what is the best way and be there and have patience.
Yeah.
You know, that's what it's going to take, man. So, you know,
Man.
shout out to also everybody out there doing what they can for their parents as well, man, because, you know, this is it.
You know, the best case scenario in life, when I talk about, okay, so what would be nice and what reality is. So what would be nice if my mom had 9 children? What would be nice if all 9 of us can come together, put up a couple dollars, buy a fixer-upper, I don't know, and we all put time in, fix it up, put my mom and dad in that house, and tell them they don't even have to worry about the taxes because we'll pay it every year. That'd be beautiful. My mom had 9 children. 9 children. There's no reason why we can't do it. but we won't.
Yeah.
And I could never understand that. I could never understand the mentality. And then what happens is, for those who will, it feels like a greater burden. So then you have to make a choice between, you know, your family and your family. You got what I'm saying?
Yes, indeed.
Like, you got kids and everything else you trying to take care of, you trying to raise, you know, you're trying to prepare for your future when you get in that space. And do I take all of that and put it towards, you know, my mom and her situations? Or do I continue to take care of me? You got what I'm saying? Do we justify it and say, well, I didn't ask to come here? Well, guess what? Your parents didn't ask for you neither.
They showed enough.
They sat down and did what they did. And
Right.
when you imagine how many times we have sex throughout our lifetime, we don't have a child every time we have sex. And we damn sure don't go to the kid's store and pick the kid. And if that's the case, I would wait until that kid was an adult. And I'd say, okay, I'll take that adult. And just be like, yo, I'm your daddy now. You know what I mean? Because it's like no other way.
Well, I wouldn't
to
even take that
ensure.
adult. I wouldn't even take that adult.
No?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I wouldn't even take that adult.
No?
Damn near hell no. Because you know why? You can't file adult on your taxes.
Oh, yeah.
You dig me?
You definitely
Damn that adult. Go get a job.
Yeah, but at the
But
end
I
of
get
the
what you're
day-
saying, though. I get what you're saying, the fact that you don't have to mold them and try to build them into
Yeah.
becoming what you would
What you
like them
want
to
them
be,
to be.
because you're going to do everything in your power to give them everything that they need, all
And
the
they still
resources they
gonna be
need,
who they are.
and they still going to say, yo, man, fuck that. I want to sell
Yeah.
crack for a living, man. I ain't got time for that. I know you want me to go to college and all that there, but I don't want to go to college.
Yeah,
I want to go
exactly.
outside on this hood. I want to be out here with my G's and my in the hoes and the,
Yeah.
you know.
Let me tell you something. I had a really good friend when I was young. Came from a really, you know, pretty well-off family or whatever the case may be. This brother went to private school. He could do whatever he wanted to do. Literally. Man, he chose to be in them streets. Chose to be in them streets all the time. Like them streets was like crack to him, and he had to be in it. He had to be in it. I remember one time we was in a Bennett Home Projects, and Mr. Mike came around with the water ice truck and all. This was a minute ago because Mr. Mike was on a water ice truck. You know, the whole time, we in the neighborhood that, for all intents, visiting girls, but we in the neighborhood for all intents and purposes, we don't really belong in. You know what I mean? We get up to the ice cream truck and the water ice truck or whatnot. It's a crowd of people out there, and he going to yell out like, "Fucking!" What'd he say? He said, "Yeah, I'm going first. I don't care what nobody say." And I'm looking at this brother like, yo. So back then, I was the type of child where I would have fought. I would have gave my loyalty and fought if he got into a fight. And we'd have been laying up there dead somewhere.
Yeah.
But that's the type of child I was, because that's what I learned in my life as a child, like being loyal to your friends.
Yeah.
Like you fuck with one, you fuck with all. Now, these are the things that I learned. It was a pack mentality. You got what I'm saying?
Yes, yes.
And the last thing you want to do in a pack is bitch out and then,
Oh, yeah, you
then
don't
go
wanna show
back
no
and tell
disloyalty.
people about it. And now all of a sudden, you know what I mean, you this bum ass dude who run on his peoples and stuff like that. And how do you recover from that?
That's right.
You know what I mean? But luckily, I guess they wasn't in an ass whooping mood that night, because I walked away from the situation. I was happy I did, but it taught me not to go places like that with him. You got what I'm saying? I'm like, dude, I ain't doing all that. I'm
Right,
not
and
doing
I
all
remember we
that.
spoke earlier. You know, this was way earlier outside. This, we got the CMP where we were speaking on.
Yeah.
How you had that friend that you was always, had his back. You always had his back,
Yeah.
but he was sitting up on the porch chilling, eating ice cream while you was out there having his back. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it's like, oh man.
So it's like you can have somebody's back and then find yourself in a fucked up position while they in the best position. You know
About
what I
that.
mean? You could be there to fight to the death, but once you get somebody off him, they could take off and run and leave you behind. Like, you just don't know. So it's more so, it's not about abandoning your friends, you know what I mean? But it's having the wisdom to say, this didn't need to happen. This does not need to go down this way. I don't have to be around you and your foolishness, putting my life in jeopardy for your foolish wins. You know what I mean? Because guess what? I had plenty of brothers, and some of them felt like they had to hustle. Me, I've been working ever since I was 12. I always had a job stacking sodas or something. I always had a job. When it snowed, I was out with the shovel, shoveling snow. When the grass grew, I was out there cutting grass or whatever. Let me tell you something. I was that young bull who nose was running out there in the freaking wintertime, but I was out early in the morning knocking on doors. You need me to do your driveway, your walkway, whatever. And we didn't get them no prices back then. They gave us what they wanted to give us for shoveling.
Right.
And then the older I got, people started adding prices on there. But see, my mom never taught me to get out there and make money like that and shovel. You know what I mean? I came up with the idea to do it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and
Okay.
even when I was a young buck, you know what I mean? I had a little bit of money. You know, I went to the store at the time. It was a market down here called Thriftway. I went to Thriftway. They used to sell this bag with all these chips in it, and I bought some lemonades and stuff, and I set up a little lemonade stand with milk crates and everything else, and I sat outside all day trying to make, you know, a quarter for the juice, you know, a quarter for a bag of chips, trying to make some money. You know what I mean? And sometimes it worked out and sometimes it didn't, but we need to encourage our kids to do things like that. Since nobody was there encouraging me, I gave up on that stuff like easy. You know, if it was a day and I ain't really make nothing and nobody really bought nothing and I spent all this money, you know, getting it, well, it seemed like a lot of money to me at the time.
Of course.
Getting this stuff together so I could make more money, you know what I mean?
Yes.
It all seemed like a lost cause. But at least the entrepreneurial bug didn't hop out of my body in my lowest moments, you know?
That's it.
Yeah.
You know, the wins and losses come with the gains of the progress and the process.
Yeah, no
and the
doubt.
achievement of the goal.
No doubt.
You know.
No doubt.
So yeah, man.
Well,
Keep grinding.
I tell y'all, this evening, as I said before, this show wasn't going to be as long as I typically go.
Not as long.
Because I wasn't feeling so great or whatnot.
And because I'm here too. You know what I'm saying? I don't usually, you know.
But I really did want to put out there that it is important for us to teach our children about finances. It's important for us to teach our children about money. And let me tell you something. If you don't know about money, man, don't feel embarrassed about that. If you don't know about investing, don't feel sad about that. If you don't know what direction to point your child to start a business or at least start the conversation, plant the seed and water it often so it can grow.
That's right.
You got what I'm saying? And always remember, we came from greatness. It's in our bloodline. The richest man who ever lived was an African man, dark like you and me. You got what I'm saying? And so even to this day, no one has reached the amount of money this man had. And this was back in the day. So just imagine. So all I'm saying is the greatness is in your blood. It's in your bloodline. We have to dig deep and give our children the knowledge that our parents may not have given us. And I'm not talking about just buying your kid a car or, you know, hey, this is investing in my child, making sure they can get to where they got to go. I'm talking about cultivating their minds. I'm talking about working in the fields of their minds, planting these seeds of greatness and letting them know, you know, giving them a framework to build upon.
Yeah.
You got what I'm saying? Because when I started my first business, I lost a whole lot of money. But I lost that money because I didn't have anybody there to actually mentor me in the beginning. And so I took a lot of losses, you know? It doesn't have to go that way. It does not have to go that way. But I digress. Can you tell them when your next thing coming up again?
Yes, indeed. All right. And okay. Thursday, 22nd, make sure y'all check out Open Mics.
Slick Talk.
My man Slick Talk will be hosting that event. Come on through, anybody and everybody, overall talent. Yes,
That's
God.
at 517 Avenue of the States in
517.
Chester. Starts at 7 p.m.
Yes, God.
The admission price is $10.
It is $10 admission price. Yes,
Yes,
God.
indeed. Yes,
Come on
indeed.
through,
Come on
indeed. We'd love to see you. Also, we have an event going down in Baltimore. Shout out to Baltimore. We'll be doing an event on the Zoom event, to be exact. Then we also have on the 23rd, July 23rd, which is on a Friday, you come on out to Smoking and Joking. It would be Vermont Harris. He'll be starring, and Jamil B will be hosting, and Chase Lamar be featuring. And also, got a competition going on. Cool J's down in Delaware. Cool J's After Dark has a competition going on this Thursday, which will be all competition of all types. Comedy, music, singing, dancing. No stripping though. No strippers. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna keep that to a minimum. Keep your clothes on. You know what I mean? But hey, I'm gonna be a judge, so I might get you in there. But we'll be doing that, and so moving forward, man, just working. And if you want to contact me any type of way, I'm on 2 social media platforms, Facebook and Instagram. My Facebook is Downtown Jabuki Brown, all one word, _major. Spelled just how it sounds, Downtown Jabuki Brown, and _major. And on Instagram, you can reach me at Major LLC. That's M.A. J.O.R. LLC. Check me out.
Is it a dot after the R? Or
No. That's why I didn't say the dot after the R. You feel me? I stopped right
Just
at
making
the.
sure.
Yes, guys. It's all good, and people come out, man, support. Shout out to everybody that I work with, man, that I've done comedy with, man. Shout out to Mike, man. He didn't put me in a position, man, to actually, be somewhere and actually have a home, man, Chester, PA, man, to bring comedy and all different types of talents, man. So just glad to be a part of it, and can't wait to grow.
And let me shout out our sponsors before we go. That's Northern Marketing,
Yes.
Mecca, Nerds Family Kitchen, Inspire, Mind Our Own Business, KC Electric, the Boys and Girls Club of Chester, Pressure Inc., TFG Tax Pros, Abstract Kings, LeBron Construction. Also, today's show is provided by Latoyson Law, owned and operated by Chester native Enrique Latoyson. Latoyson Law is there for you when you need it most. They can handle all of your legal needs. Support Chester's own Latoyson Law. They handle property transfer, criminal defense, and all other legal needs. Right firm, right now. Their number is 610-999-1439. Also, August 20th to the 22nd, cmpradio.net is doing a Raise-a-thon, Our Great Thing. Friday, August 20th, we tagging at 9th and Ingle. Saturday at 10 a.m., 12 p.m., the station is doing the Raise-a-thon, 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. Sunday, CMP Appreciation Brunch Day. I don't know if I was supposed to say that one, but it's written on here, so I put it out there. Was I supposed to say that one, Leslie?
All right.
The brunch day? No?
Shout out to CMP, man. CMP Radio. We thank y'all, man.
And so I want to thank y'all all for coming out. I
Thank
want
you
y'all
all
to
that came out. Facebook,
go to
Instagram.
YouTube and check out Mind of the Storm. And please subscribe to my page. Also, you can catch my webpage. It is www.mindofthestorm.com. Check it out, peruse through. I have some videos up there. Check it out. You can also catch me on TikTok at Mind of the Storm on TikTok. I was doing pretty tough there with views and stuff. I'm kind of happy about that. Also, I have a project that's coming out here. We shot it last year. It's called United We Heal. And it's I'll be putting it out in its entirety, but it's going to be entered into film festivals and all. So I want y'all to be able to check that out. And also, once again, July 22nd, which is a Thursday, at 7 p.m. to 10 p.m., 517 Avenue of the States. Come out and check out Slick Talk, being hosted by Chester's own Slick the Hitman. I think that may be all of the information. I had Quiet Storm, the Poet, that's D-A, on Instagram, and Michael Storm Miller on Facebook. I know that sounds like a whole bunch of shit.
It is
but
a
I'm
bunch of
doing
shit.
A whole
It is.
lot of
He's
shit.
doing a lot of shit. So you know what that means, right? He named like 30 motherfucking different platforms. I only named 2. So they know what that means. I ain't doing enough shit. I got to get my shit together. Yes, God. Y'all have a great night.
Also, I'll almost be done my short that I did. I put out a trailer for it a while ago, and now that's almost complete. So I'll have that out to y'all.
Congratulations, man.
Always find. Thank you very much. I want to let everybody know. Always find a reason to smile. Always find a reason to laugh. It is way too much bullshit going on in
Yes,
this world
God.
now too. We love you.
Amgo's Production.
La 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 la.